So what's your name?
My name is Jasen Sousa.
Can I ask how old you are?
25.
Okay. Now you have your own publishing company.
That's right.
Could you tell us the name of that?
Yeah, my name of my publishing company that I founded is called J-Rock Publishing.
Okay. How many books do you have out right now?
Right now, I've self-published through this company 5 books of hip-hop inspired poetry.
And what year did you start doing it in?
I would say the first book I published was back in 1999.
Okay. And how old were you when you first put that out?
Between 18 and 19 years old.
So, the book that you first published, was it mostly poetry or was it?
Yeah, the first book we published is called Life Weather, and basically it's a collection of like 70 poems, and it's got some hand-drawn illustrations to go along with them, real nice, by one of my friends here from Somerville. And basically the concept behind my first book was to introduce it as kind of like a hybrid between a poetry and like a comic book, between to have, to get young people more interested. So we got the poems and we have these, really wacky illustrations that go along with it that are kind of, pencil sketches that are real, but they'll also kind of have some like surrealism to them.
So now the books that you first published, had you written that stuff before, or did it kind of come up around 18, 19 and then?
Yeah, I wrote it before, but the idea how I got it to put into a book format was that, I would take a lot of this stuff and I would bring it to some of my friends who are like in mental, facilities and things like that, trying to get over certain problems in their life, and I would bring them these poems and stories and like that, and they would, say that it helped them get through it. So I guess, I got the idea that I should put this book in kind of like, a book format, to put my writings in a book format to better present it, rather than just like loose paper. So that's how I really got the first idea to put it in a book format.
So were you shy at all in the beginning about putting your work out and showing it to people, or?
You know what? Not really. I don't know, what it is and stuff, but I really, as far as my ideas and my thoughts and stuff, I never really, I kind of put things out there because I always felt that, my experiences and things like that I go through could always help people, so as far as like putting like my things out there that I'm kind of like embarrassed about and things like that, at first it was a little weird to do, but as you go through it, your readers will recognize if you're not being truthful to them. So I kind of just, right from the beginning, just decided to lay everything out there.
So now, when you put out the later books, in the beginning, how did you go from I have the idea of making the book to actually having a completed book in your hand? Because there's so many steps in between.
Exactly. Yeah. I kind of like did the research on it, and just to see what the best process would be for me as far as how to get my book out there. So I went to look to see if I wanted to get someone else to publish it. I kind of looked through all the steps as far as trying to get an agent and trying to get a publisher to accept what I have to offer. And I kind of looked at the self-publishing route, and I kind of fell in love with that, because I found that with the self-publishing route, I can put it out there without anyone saying whether it's good or bad, and I can kind of make it my own, which was very important to me. So I did research as far as how to get like ISBN numbers, barcodes, how to buy my book, where to buy things at different presses and things like that, and I kind of how to get software and things like that, and how to put the book together to format it inside, and I kind of just went from there. And my first book was really just like an experiment with the whole thing. We did the first book in a Microsoft Word document, which was like kind of like a disaster, but we did it like that, and we just learned from there, and I've continued to learn as I've gone on, and just hopefully get the best at it as I can.
So for somebody that wants to put out their own stuff, what advice would you give them for things to look for, to stay away from?
Yeah, well, my advice would be to someone trying to put out their own writing is just kind of, just believe in it. Don't get frustrated with it. It's it's a long process. The publishing industry is really just like cutthroat, and there's so many things out there that don't get to see the light of day that should. And I just kind of feel like with people's writings, if you want to get it out there, there's so many venues now how to do it. There's so much software available to people to have your own computers and things like that. So people have the opportunity more so these days than they did before, to get their work out there in book format and really just kind of show their ideas and things to the world. So
it's surprising that at 18, 19 you had the idea to do something like that. Was there anybody that kind of pushed you along, like, hey, you could try and just do it on your own, or you could make a book?
Yeah. You know, not really. I'm kind of like, as far as like personality wise, I'm kind of like a person that kind of, you know, stays to themselves a lot. And I just come up with this idea on my own, really. And I just kind of went from it from there. And kind of like, you know, no one knew what I was doing. And if anything, I got more negative feedback than I got positive feedback because, you know, no one in my family or anyone that I've known has ever done any, you know, no one in my family really reads, you know, to tell you the truth. So